From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, I'm Dianne Parker. Jason has our Tuesday forecast, plus a Sheridan hockey coach dies after a knockout punch. But first, our top story. Wildfires, they are wreaking havoc across the entire state with 56 active fires burning thousands of acres. MTN's Marcus Kakova has the very latest on the flames in southeast Montana that came dangerously close to a campground, forcing evacuations.
I'm here in Boerne, where just feet behind me, firefighters are conducting a burnout to prevent this fire from growing any further.
So far, the fires are it's going really well. We started with 6 fires. These were all started by lightning.
Now, between those fires, around 22,000 total acres have burned, gnawing away at both public and private land since Friday. The largest, the Anderson and Deadman fires, emerged on Sunday.
One of the big concerns for folks around here is their forage, because a lot of them make their living by ranching.
All the smoke was kind of going around us, not really affecting us as much.
This was the scene when Valentine Noonkester was evacuated from a family vacation at Tongue River Campground.
It's just very sad to see everything burning down, and look at what it's done to most of our national forests. I mean, they're finally growing back, but it's just sad to see trees falling over and just dead.
Several homeowners have also been encouraged to leave, opting to stay. So far, no homes have burned. A new fire team and resources arrived on Monday to help battle the Deadman Fire Complex. Stephanie Spencer with the Northern Rockies Team 3 says though things are going well now, potential for change depends on the weather.
There is a lot of unburned fuel inside of here, so they will continue to smoke for a while. Fires out here are wind-driven, so just depending on how the weather is from now until they're burned out.
Marcus Kakova, MTN News.
As Marcus mentioned, 2 eastern Montana fires have merged, becoming the largest wildfire burning in the state. The Deadman and Anderson fire are now one and sit at more than 24,000 acres this noon. The fire is 0% contained and was sparked by dry lightning July 12th and 13th. We want to show you a few more images of the fire near the Tongue River Reservoir that forced campground evacuations Saturday. These are pictures from Valentine Noonkester, who was camping with his family. He says he saw huge flames just over the ridge and could feel the heat as he drove closer to the dam. Now, originally, campers weren't worried about that blaze until the wind shifted Saturday night.
We were actually getting hit by lots and lots of ash, so that really got us concerned. After that, there was red and blue lights stopping at each campsite and just letting people know, hey, no rush, but pack up and you have to leave. We finally got everything out, and I think we headed out of there around 12:30, 12:45 that evening. It's just very sad to see everything burning down.
Meanwhile, owners at the Tongue River Marina posted this photo today saying the air quality is not good, but the evacuation order has been downgraded to a warning.
We obviously have more than our fair share of fires around Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana right now. Thankfully, the air quality isn't worse than it currently is. All of our reporting stations either in the good or moderate categories. In the last few days, I've only seen one spot. Broadus was in the unhealthy category for a while, so it's not ideal, but thankfully a lot of that smoke is actually high altitude, so we're not going to have to breathe it, but we're definitely going to see it in the sky. And you can see, looking at our smoke forecast, we expect around this ridge of high pressure that more of that haze and smoke is going to start pushing into our sky, especially higher altitudes. I'll let you know what else is happening over the next 5 days coming up in just a few minutes.
A Sheridan, Wyoming man faces up to 2 decades behind bars after allegedly punching a local youth hockey coach so hard that he died from his injuries. Patrick Mudd passed away Saturday following a fight that happened Friday outside the Sheridan Rodeo. According to court documents obtained by MTN, 33-year-old Joseph McCullough and Coach Mudd started fighting about an incident in the parking lot where McCullough allegedly backed into Mudd's truck. Witnesses say the two started pushing, with McCullough delivering a knockout blow that rendered Mudd unconscious. He never woke up. McCullough is now charged with involuntary manslaughter. Dozens of hockey sticks now line the driveway of Mudd's Sheridan home in tribute to the coach. A 21-year-old man is charged with attempted deliberate homicide at Gallatin Valley Mall Friday night. Keenan Carrier was charged in Gallatin County Justice Court Monday. Court records say he was trying to race cars with the victim. The victim was hit after exiting his vehicle. In addition, Keenan is charged with assault with a weapon and criminal endangerment. His bond is $500,000. He is scheduled to appear in court again August 2nd. Butte police say a man bled to death on the 1100 block of South Main Street early Monday morning. Sheriff Ed Lester saying the man's arm was injured when he tried to break into his home by breaking a window. Lester says the victim was bleeding heavily when he left his home on foot. Officials say it appears alcohol may have played a factor in the man's death. His identity is not being released while family is notified, and the victim's body is being sent to the Montana State Crime Lab in Missoula. Montanans are playing a part at the Republican National Convention this week. Secretary of State Christy Jacobson officially delivered their votes to Donald Trump during Monday's roll call of the states. Montana Republicans also hailed Trump's selection of J.D. Vance as his running mate. U.S. Senate candidate Tim Sheehy is expected to address the convention this week. His campaign says he'll speak in support of Trump's America First agenda. Senator Steve Daines is also speaking at the convention. He chairs the nationwide Republican Senate Campaign Committee. Mild winter temperatures, then a major cold snap in January have drastically impacted Flathead cherry crops. Driving around Flathead Lake, you can spot cherries on the trees at many orchards, but many have been wiped out by the January freeze. At Gateway Orchard on Highway 35, they do have a stand-up, but any cherries will be stocked by other orchards, and they are selling jewelry, huckleberries, and other fruits and vegetables.
Well, we're open right now because we do sell other things also, but we're actually being selective and bringing some cherries in from Washington. Later on, we have a neighbor up the road that's going to sell us some flatheads. There's not a lot. Most of the right here at our orchard here, it's all wiped out from the freeze, and most of the valley is, but there will be a little bit. We should have cherries, flatheads by the festival. They're not ripe yet.
And Gateway Orchard, they are staying optimistic about having some Montana cherries available in the near future. Last night, Kalispell City Council held a special meeting to discuss the potential of pulling the permit for the Flathead Warming Center. The Warming Center is a resource for the homeless population, offering beds, showers, laundry, and other resources for the community. MTN's Kiana Wilson was at that meeting and brings us the very latest.
On Monday night, the Flathead Warming Center had their first opportunity to address the Kalispell City Council regarding the possible revocation of their permit. City Council began discussing the possible revocation of the Warming Center's conditional use permit in April after receiving complaints from neighbors surrounding the center, including loitering, increase in homeless population presence, littering, and more.
Tonight, we defend the very existence of the Flathead Warming Center.
The Warming Center received a letter from the Kalispell City Attorney stating 9 assertions as to how the Warming Center has violated their permit.
8 times by public comments. Who made them? Which were used by the council in their decision to accept and act on them.
On Monday, they addressed.
Tonight, the City Council will hear from the that tomorrow you may decide if the Flathead Warming Center must be shuttered. A decision that would force homeless individuals onto the street in the coldest nights of winter and separate them from potentially life-saving assistance.
The City Council will continue to comment on the revocation of the Warming Center's permit on Tuesday night. In Kalispell, Kiana Wilson, MTN News.